Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, instead of trying to be something y'all ain't. Ain't bang them books, ain't bang them books, be something y'all ain't. Trying to
peace. How's everybody doing? We hoping, we praying that everybody is well and will be better. This is your brother and friend, Yeshaya Israel. And brothers and sisters, we call this one here, She Can't Say Love. Now, what do we mean by that? And let me say for the listening audience, these presentations are not based upon misogynistic matters, but rather matters to get out to the people for understanding purposes, to understand where, quote unquote, each side say it's coming from. Brothers and sisters. So we're going to play an MP4 matter and speak upon such, if we will. All right?
How do you let your boyfriend keep disciplining me and my brothers? Just because he raised us and pays all the bills don't make him the man of the house. He's not our dad.
That man has taken care of y'all for the last 12 years and done more for you than your father ever has. He is the man of this house. If you don't like it, your dad's house is always an option.
Now, for those who have seen that, the son, obviously older than the ones shown in the background, is saying, why will you allow or continue to allow this man to discipline them just because he pays all the bills does not make him the man of the house. Now, coming up in my teenage years in the 1990s, there was a very popular show that was called Living Single. I'm glad I got my girl, Kinda Matter. So you had 4 said single black women living among themselves, and 2 of them were dating 2 of their male neighbors in that particular show. There was a thing in the 1990s, in my teenage years, where women were saying they were independent. And later on, say after the year 2000, it was thought of and saying that a man was an option, not a requirement or a necessity. So what has happened from that timing to the timing we see now after 2025, after 2026? Bills have gone up. Rent has gone up. Prices of groceries have gone up. And so let us sit there and listen to this again and remembering the transformation of what happened in many communities from, say, the 1990s era to the present day.
How do you let your boyfriend keep disciplining me and my brothers? Just because he raised us and pays all the bills don't make him the man of the house. He's not our dad.
That man has taken care of y'all for the last 12 years and done more for you than your father ever has. He is the man of this house. If you don't like it, your dad's house is always an option.
Now, in that video, short video, the man, the young man, if you will, he is saying, your boyfriend, is she not married to this man that, according to her, was doing for them for the past 12 years? What can we gain in ascertaining that? You are in a 12-year relationship and there is no set marriage? Who perhaps is using who? Is the lady in the AI video there shown to be presented as if she can handle her own bills? Like many of, I'm 46 years old, like many of our mothers, single or not, were able to do, quote, with or without a man. But at the same token, you see the results of what happens later on inside of, say, certain cases. Let me give you an example. You were not meant as a man or a woman to be alone. And for many people citing the Bible, when it says it's not good for a man to be alone, that was the one creation the Creator made in the Bible after creating the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that in them is, and said that this is not good and that man being alone. So a woman who was his helpmate was made to assist him, brothers and sisters, in that particular mission, and so forth and so on. So in that short video that was shown, it can easily be deduced that while she's talking about something about this man paying this and that, and he being, quote, the man of that house, she can't say that they even united as a couple, as a man and woman. So what is she showing her sons to be as men? What accountability is she showing the man in her life that he should be to her sons? Just pay these bills. That's all you need to do. And he's done more for you than your father. So I'm going to hopefully not be wrong, but assume that all of those children shown in there are the children of first the older one having one father, and being, as she mentioned, 12 years, the little children shown in the back are from whom he calls her boyfriend. So she's living in a house with her children, according to that, not being married, but having her boyfriend / baby's father, if he is to be the father of the children shown in the back within the past 12 years of that. Let's watch this again, family.
How do you let your boyfriend keep disciplining me and my brothers? Just because he raised us and pays all the bills don't make him the man of the house. He's not our dad.
That man has taken care of y'all for the last 12 years and done more for you than your father ever has. He is the man of this house. If you don't like it, your dad's house is always an option.
There's no marriage. Therefore, there's no set accountability. What is that man, young man, and ultimately those young men being shown about how they're supposed to deal with women? Is she putting, quote, herself out there to say, you see how your dad, if he's the father of the children in the background, my boyfriend treats me? No. The only thing that he can be said to do is pay bills and provide. He's the quote man of the house. And if you don't like it, your father's house is always an option. So let's understand something. She's not married in a relationship for 12 years. Many women don't even want to stand for that, to be in a relationship for 12 years and no marriage, unless she's playing him and finessing him like a sucker, like a simp, like a fool. You don't think the children will sit there and see that kind of thing? So the point in going over this kind of matter is to also express when in the AI video, the lady is there saying, if you don't like it, your father's house is always an option. So she is already teaching her son options. If this one don't do it for you, go over there. If this one don't work, go over there. What is she providing? Because if you want to cite the Bible, it says she eats not the bread of idleness. The wise woman builds her house. So these modern day, no offense intended, after the matter of living single from the 1990s era promotion, we have the I'm not going 50-50. But let me try to explain what 50-50 is. It is not. If the rent is, say, $800, he pays $400, he pays $400. If the gas bill is $50, she paid $25, he paid $25. That is not what 50-50 is. It is coming together and becoming 100. His 50, whatever their respectful obligations and responsibilities are between him and her, coming together makes 100. You understand? But when you have the gimme, and I don't give anything in reciprocation, I quote the woman am the table kind of spirit, then you're going to sit there and see what we just saw. Most of the people that I spoke with about this may have not even caught on to the fact that neither one of them can say that they have love, that this man that she's with for 12 years, not to, quote, beat a dead horse without a marriage, loves her, that she loves him. She can't say that this man that she's been with for 12 years and is, quote, the man of the house, loves the children. And some men, when I spoke with them about this, was saying, well, if you're taking care of another man's child, that's love. No. You got men who take care of other people's children to avoid taking care of their own. Did you know that? I want to state that again. There are men who provide but cannot love another man's child, and he does that in his spirit to avoid having to deal with his own seed, flesh, and blood. That right there just goes to show you certain cases in that. So when we call this one here, she can't say love. When you watch that entire 14-second skit in the AI thing, her option is to her son, if you don't like it, not that I'm going to even teach you what you should like. Of course, you're going to have your own mindset on what you like, but let me explain this to you why it should be like, because she know it's trash. She know that man don't love her, who's not shown in there. She know that she's making bitter sons. And men who don't think that is the case. I like to play this again and make some more points, if you will, before we continue. Thank you.
How do you let your boyfriend keep disciplining me and my brothers? Just because he raised us and pays all the bills don't make him the man of the house. He's not our dad.
That man has taken care of y'all for the last 12 years and done more for you than your father ever has. He is the man of this house. If you don't like it, your dad's house is always an option.
When a man has been regulated to being a bill payer, this is what you see. See, children do not care who pay the bills, because in most cases with parents, they are kept out in the dark about who pays the bills in the first place. So to try to sit there and as a man, or in this case as a lady who, as she said, he pays all the bills, or the brother in there said he pays all the bills. So what does, not being funny, she pay? What does she do? What does she contribute? Give him more babies? And I don't say that to be disrespectful. Is that a way, well, I'm going to keep this dude. See, now you can't leave me. I got your baby. You've been paying bills anyway for my older son. See, the game that has been played, brothers and sisters, and when I go online and see these kind of things, not that it's about me seeing things, the days of simping as a man are dying. The days, and I say no disrespect, of people like the judge, I think her name is Judge Lake in paternity courts. Well, a real man will take care of another man's baby that ain't his, as opposed to making the father of the child, who she regret being, for the lack of a better term, Pookie and Ray Ray, now find somebody who's just willing to sit there and just fix her problems while she just sits there and be okay telling her first child or a child, well, if you don't like it, your father's house is always an option. You mean to tell me, Miss Independent, you have a child, and perhaps the children in the background are yours, because he said, me and my brothers, not shown in that video who is the father of those younger children. We're going to say, if she said 12 years, that those children apparently looking younger than 12 are not of the same man that the older child speaking to her is. Unless he's just a total idiot. The man that's not shown in the video, that is. You understand? When you watch that and pay attention, she's manipulative to that man. Maybe that man takes his frustration out, not shown in there, on the children because he knows he's being played like a sucker. She can't pay her own bills. She needs someone else to do it. So, in discussing this and showing the matter that the word love, concern, growth, respect, family is not there between the individuals shown and discussed. You had some individuals who were, when I was speaking upon this, was saying, well, love don't really matter. It all really depends on how you look at it. The reason why I use these skits and put it into MP4 format is because these things need to be discussed, because this is the problems that go on, no disrespect intended, in the Black community. Somebody, not that I'm the answer to people's prayers, but somebody has to talk about it. Somebody needs to sit there and bring it out. Somebody needs to sit there, and I'm not the only brother who does such, or the only person, because there are sisters online who also attack that kind of spirit as well. Let me explain what I mean when I say that kind of spirit. What spirit are we talking about? The give me spirit, and I don't have to give anything in return. The spirit of the kind of women that you see on that show, For My Man, willing to do stupid things, idiotic things, in order to sit there and, quote, keep somebody in that premise. So that lady's point of matter, not saying that love exists, is if you don't like it, you can go to your father's house. That's always an option. So again, not being redundant, she's teaching a child that women deal in options, not responsibilities, love, and accountability, not in a matter of connective matters, not in a matter of growth and respect. No, it's options. Your father's house is an option. You don't know, I'm speaking about her in the video, what you want to do and where you should go. I feel sorry for you if that man leaves you. I feel sorry for you if that man no longer is under the hoodwinked matter of she just is the best thing on earth. Now, let's say the son that she's spoken to in that said, you know what? I'm going to be out. I'm going to go by my father. I'm going to go on my own. He's just leaving from that energy that he doesn't like there. And the man has been, according to her, taking care of them for 12 years and then tried to belittle his father by saying he's done more for you than your father. The options is this and that. So his father was not an option to her. What are you teaching your son about how women think? Is this opportunistic seed line that you're passing on and no disrespect intended generational curses and ideologies? So when you find sisters say sometimes these days, well, he's so damaged and he has mommy issues. This kind of AI video shows you where some of that stuff could start from. We're going to play it one more time, get some more comments on it, and then pull up a PowerPoint. Thank you for your time, family.
Why do you let your boyfriend keep disciplining me and my brothers? Just because he raised us and pays all the bills don't make him the man of the house. He's not our dad.
That man has taken care of y'all for the last 12 years and done more for you than your father ever has. He is the man of this house. If you don't like it, your dad's house is always an option.
Hold on. Did we hear that carefully? Did I have to check my own self? Did the young man in the video, say he's not our dad? So my assumption was wrong. According to that, the man paying something for 12 years, including everything, inclusive of everything, he pays for nothing. She's willing to sacrifice her unity with her first child or older child there, while he done told her his feelings and saying a fact that, did we catch on? He's not our dad. Not he must be the worst person on earth. Not he's irresponsible. Not he won't buy me a jacket if I need it. But see, when you have the men of today being taught that in order to sit there and be, quote, seen as a man, you must provide paying the bills, paying the mortgage, paying the land tax, paying the rent, paying the gas, paying the water, paying her car note, paying her insurance, paying for her hair and nails, paying for her children's stuff. That's kind of matter right there is consistently being pumped into, say, the community. While, no offense intended, the men who might be the father, not trying to get too deep, the Pookie and Ray Ray kind of people, then she'll go to a person that, oh, okay, he's a nicer person, kind of matter. So you sat there, had your child, or your child told you his heart and his spirit. But you're not married in 12 years because he distinctly said boyfriend. And this boyfriend, according to him, is none of their dad. But all the children shown in there, some of them, I'm thinking were younger than 12 or 12 and younger. And she mentioned 12 years, but he previously said he's not our dad. You cannot buy your way into flesh and blood. Now, men who sit there and think, once it comes down to, I pay this, so, love is really, how you determine it. You are the plague to the black community. You're not an alpha male that younger brothers need to sit there and see. As a strong, vibrant male, you a simp. You a coward. You a wuss. You a sourpuss. You understand? You're the type that women would say they can sit there and kick around spiritually, and then you just be like, well, yes, what it is. I'll pay bills, huh? But fool, let me try to explain something. If you live by yourself, clown, you still got to pay bills. So how is it paying bills makes you, quote, that leader or that man in that particular case? Tell you how. Because it's what was taught. If you're going to be a street sweeper, be the best one. And you make sure you always pay your rent no matter what. We were taught that as black children. Were we being prepared for marriage, for structure, for family? These are things that need to sit there and perhaps be addressed and spoken upon. So The simp man being used by that kind of woman in that AI video, who's okay being toxic, saying your father house is an option. She's miserable. Her children's father didn't do nothing. She can't provide nothing. And basically it's a thing of, well, if you don't like it, because she know she don't like it. That's why she can't even bring herself to say like or love or cherish or anything of that sort. You got mothers who would tell their children, whether they're children or adults, staying or living with them, that it's the child, their offspring's responsibility or reason as to why she's not married. You have mothers that will sit there and compare the father who has the seed with that woman to another man, which is wicked as who knows what. Because obviously, the person you had the child with must have been, if it was consensual in making the child, good for something, unless you just was wound up bad and grew older in those 12 years and still can't provide nothing and thinking of options among the different sons of your ancestors, that's to say the men of your people. You see men in that particular video as an option, not as someone to grow and build with. So again, not being redundant, what is he supposed to think getting older, thinking about how women think about men? And he's going to protect, quote, his peace. In the words of X, by any means necessary. So we're going to pull this up, if we will. Sorry about that. Share screen, if we will. I want to talk about this, if we will, family, in this matter. All right, thank you for that. So let's look, if we will, at this. This should show up in the screen. Family, right? Slideshow from the beginning. Thank you for that. Not sure who's in listening, but okay. Let's go on, family. Let's talk. You can't say love. Now, again, this is not to, quote, bash anyone. But we are adults, most cases, listening to this. I am an adult speaking upon this. So oh my gosh, black men are going all over social media talking about how they feel. They should keep that private between them and the person that they're talking about, perhaps. White guys don't do that. What? And this is not to sound disrespectful. How are you, man or woman, saying to a person on his or her page or platform that he or she should not speak what they're motivated to speak upon such? Don't you know when many people speak, certainly in passion, that they're talking in part perhaps about themselves? So you want that person, male or female, to just sit there and be like, shh, don't say nothing. Be quiet. And that's the problem with, and partly with, the black community. You understand? This is how we know not to get too far out there. The molestation that happens with our people, sadly. Be quiet. Don't talk about it. She just don't want her mother to be happy. Since, not to be too personal, I've been around my princess more. Again, as I put on other videos, I began to sit there and see the funny style between, not to get too personal, some family and some friends. When you got to choose between family and friends and the people you help bring into this earth, that shouldn't be, but it's common with us as a people, brothers and sisters. There are men, and I know of what is being spoken of, who actually categorized, as pointed out in the video earlier, taking care of somebody else's family members while neglecting, say, his own flesh and blood and seed line and heritage. That's not good. And what do I mean by heritage? You leave an inheritance and you come from people who left you an inheritance. So your ancestors are part of your heritage. But when you find people saying the first person in a man's life is his wife, are we serious? How is the first person in a man's life his wife when he came from people who still get advice from, especially if you deal it biblically? Because we need help as a people. The Willie Lynch concept, whether you say Willie Lynch was a person or not, I pitched the old black male versus the young black male. I pitched the tall versus the short, whether their hair is fine or their hair is coarse. I pushed the male between the female and the female between the male. And I use envy and jealousy for control purposes. And that concept is still done, brothers and sisters. So in order to sit there and get rid of that, we have to sit there and show much more respect and love in that particular case. Much more understanding with one another in that particular case. Much more, sorry, my phone fell. Much more accountability with each other in that particular case. Much more less deliberate. I'm not going to talk about that subject. What do you mean you're not going to talk about the subject? It's going to be brought up again and again and again until something is addressed. Because we can't have any more generational, I don't deal with that such and such. We don't need that. You don't replace, as the Apocrypha teaches us, new friends for old friends. When Joseph, if you're dealing with the Bible, when Joseph was born, Rachel, his mother, was told, fear not. For this, no, when Benjamin was being born, she was told, fear not, for this also is the son for you. You understand? Joseph, his older brother, means adding or increasing. That is what one is supposed to do, add and increase. And when we talk about adding and increasing, we're not talking about sorrow and sadness. We're talking about love, peace, and prosperity in that particular case. Not your father is an option. I'm in a relationship for 12 years and no marriage. That's not growth and prosperity. That's not love and respect. 12-year relationship, he's a simp. And no marriage? Let's continue, family. Kind of a different topic we're going to get into, but let's look. What happened? On the right side is what they call a bust of Nefertari. And on the left side is a statue that when I was in Egypt, I saw and took a picture of. This is a little different topic than what we talked about just now, but here's the point. You cut off the noses for what? And then discussing this online with people, it's, when you're dealing with artwork like that, the nose is the first thing to fall off. So to the Arabs and the Europeans who swear that ancient Egyptians were either Arabian or Caucasians or Europeans, even though Egypt is in Africa and Egypt is not part of the Caucasus Mountains area, why did you not replace the nose? You see how they're talking about the cracks by like Mount Rushmore, where Washington faces, and people talking about whether they should fix it or not? If this was your culture, you people in the land of Egypt today, why do you leave it looking defaced like that? Simple, because deep down in your heart, you know it's not your culture. It's not your people. The same thing with, no disrespect, the European Jews in the land of Israel. The reason why you're okay with everything else going on there is because you know you're not the true house of Israel. The Egyptians of ancient times and the Israelites of ancient times are not in their set lands in order to truly and properly claim it. So this is why you go in Egypt and see this in the museums. You understand? So when I was in Egypt and looking at the Sphinx with the nose broken off, and then people try to come and say, well, the reason why this happened is because it is okay. Let's take your lie as truth. Because when you look at a statue like this, with the nose chipped off, that is deliberate. And you're not going to sit there and tell me with those, quote, full lips and that broadened nose that is what they call, quote, unquote, Caucasian features. Though you got people in northern Niger, like among the Hausa people, that are black or dark-skinned with what they want to call European-looking features, but have melanated or black-brown skin. You understand? In Africa, if we will. So we can't always go by features in many, many cases. But in this one, somebody did something on purpose. And what was the purpose other than to say, hide the identity of whom they're portraying? Which, no, I don't bow down to statues, is disrespect to one's culture. It doesn't make any sense to even sit there and uphold that kind of matter and so forth. So just want to ask a question about that, what happened in that particular case. Let's conclude. On the left-hand side, we're going to read it. It says, white men represent 28% of the American population and commit 80% of mass shootings, 75% of child pornographers, 99% of assassinations, 62% of sexual assaults, because they ask us to not really say that R word online. 67 to 70% of child sexual assault or child SA, 85% of serial killings, 70% of sex offenders, 61% of assault, 70% of sexual crimes against animals. Whoa, that's bestiality. 70 to 80% of crimes against family members. Now, when I saw that, I made a comment that said, Forensic Files is all I'm saying. Now, Forensic Files is a show that comes on, to my knowledge, cable still, and I know they got shows about Forensic Files on YouTube and things of that kind of nature. Most of the people shown on there are Caucasians guilty of these kind of crimes and so on, right? So now somebody unable to sit there and perhaps say that what's written on the left-hand side there is incorrect, stated, well, if you look at 48 hours, what about that? So my statement, because 48 hours, yeah, it shows mostly black people, yeah. So instead of trying to show that the words on the left-hand side are incorrect, or if they are correct, there is steps in progress to make that become a lie. Look at what statistics is saying of you, and let's sit there and make things better realistically. Stop being guilty of these kind of crimes. No. Let's throw it back on black people and say 48 hours. See, the problem with that is this. I saw, which means taking what the Post says and what Forensic Files show, the equation between black men and white men is when the black man is a criminal. See, when you can only show another people when you're being charged with something as also being wrong, it does not clarify you. It does not rectify the situation. You exposing somebody else, or you bringing out what's already known about somebody else that is unrighteous and or criminal, does not make those percentages on the left-hand side void. You still got to fix your problem. So you don't care to fix your problem. You want to stay being okay in your problem. And then say the first 48 hours, yeah, you thought you were saying something by saying that? We've been know of, quote, black on black crime. Most black people who are unalived are done by black people. Most Chinese people who are unalived are done by Chinese people. Most people who are unalived are done by members of their own racial / national ethnic group. That is a fact. So instead of nations, races, groups of people attempting to make things better, having less homicides, less sexual assault, less problems, less crimes happening, the people's solution is, well, just look at others. That right there is ridiculous. That's not a solution. Let's continue. The black inventors and great leaders are not even listed with the white inventors and leaders. So when we look at the matter presented, no offense, you had to show an equation between the post words, which is on the left-hand side, and what 48 hours show. Criminals. Is it true that the only time, like when you watch people who were executed for crimes, they got black and white males in there about the state of Oklahoma or Texas or Florida or so forth and so on? Why is our unity between melanated and non-melanated, or black and white, or quote for other terms, Caucasian and African American, why is the unity when both parties are guilty of crimes? I have yet to see, Love and History, a list of the pharaohs. Mind you, I don't even claim to be Egyptian. I'm of the house of Israel. I don't see a list of the pharaohs next to the list of the Caesars of Rome, a list of the kings of Judah who were black, alongside the list of the Ptolemies and the Sardaces as time went on. So even in dealing with King's List, nations are not mixed. When you deal with the inventions done by black people, the doorknob, the iron board, and so forth and so on. And then you look at the list of inventions of white people, they don't sit there and compare it to be the same. Even when you read the health book, brothers and sisters, Back to Eden by Jethro Claus, he mentions what herbs are good for white people and what herbs are good for black people. In that book, Back to Eden, for those who are interested. So this platform is not based on quote unquote racism, but just to bring things out, brothers and sisters, in that particular case. We're not going to, brothers and sisters, continue in this, in that we have nothing else to say and the presentation is now concluded. We hope and we pray that everybody is well and will be better. Thank you. Shalom.